In the United States, many species have faced the ultimate consequence of human impact on nature: extinction in the wild. Some of these species still survive today, preserved in captivity or breeding programs. But for many, the wild world they once roamed is now forever out of reach. Today, we will explore 10 animals that have been driven to extinction in the wild in the United States. Number 1. California Condor. Declared extinct in the wild in 1987, reintroduced in the 1990s. Once soaring across the vast skies of the American West, the California condor faced near total extinction due to habitat destruction, poaching, and lead poisoning from ingested bullet fragments. By 1987, only 27 individuals remained, all of which were captured for a last-ditch conservation effort. This marked the species as extinct in the wild. However, through intensive breeding programs, the condors were successfully reintroduced in the 1990s to places like the Grand Canyon, Big Sur, and Pinnacles National Park. Today, their numbers have grown to over 500, but the species remains critically endangered, relying on continued conservation efforts to survive. Number 2. Dusky Seaside Sparrow. Declared extinct in the wild in 1980, fully extinct in 1990. Once native to the salt marshes of Florida, the dusky seaside sparrow suffered a steep decline due to habitat destruction and pesticide use. By 1980, it was declared extinct in the wild. A small number were placed in captivity in an effort to save the species, but these breeding programs failed. The last known dusky seaside sparrow, a male named Orange Band, died in 1987, and in 1990, the species was officially declared fully extinct. Its loss remains a somber reminder of how human development can irreversibly impact fragile ecosystems. Number 3. Red wolf. Declared extinct in the wild in 1980. Once roaming across the southeastern United States, the red wolf faced severe threats from hunting, habitat loss, and interbreeding with coyotes. By 1980, these pressures led to their declaration as extinct in the wild. However, a dedicated captive breeding program initiated in 1973 offered a glimmer of hope. In 1987, red wolves were reintroduced into North Carolina's Alligator River National Wildlife Refuge. Despite these efforts, their numbers have dwindled, with fewer than 25 individuals remaining in the wild today. Conservationists continue to strive for their survival, but the future of this elusive predator remains uncertain. Number 4. Passenger Pigeon. Declared extinct in the wild by the early 1900s, fully extinct in 1914. Once the most abundant bird in North America, the passenger pigeon numbered in the billions, filling the skies in flocks so massive they could block out the sun for hours. However, relentless hunting and large-scale deforestation decimated their numbers. By the late 1800s, wild populations had vanished, and the species was declared extinct in the wild. The last known passenger pigeon, a bird named Martha, died in captivity at the Cincinnati Zoo on September 1, 1914. Her death marked the tragic end of a species that once defined the North American wilderness. Today, the passenger pigeon remains a cautionary tale of how human activities can drive even the most numerous species to extinction. Number 5. Eastern elk. Declared extinct in the wild in 1877. The eastern elk once roamed the vast forests of the eastern United States and southern Canada. Standing up to 60 inches tall at the shoulder and weighing as much as 1,000 pounds, these majestic creatures were a symbol of the wilderness. However, by September 1, 1877, overhunting and habitat destruction led to the demise of the last known eastern elk in Pennsylvania. The subspecies was officially declared extinct by the United States Fish and Wildlife Service in 1880. In the 20th century, efforts were made to reintroduce elk to their former ranges using closely related subspecies, but the original eastern elk remains lost to history. 6. Bugle hartebeest. Declared extinct in the wild by the early 1900s. Native to North Africa, the bugle hartebeest once thrived across regions from Morocco to Egypt. Unfortunately, excessive hunting and habitat loss led to a sharp decline in their numbers during the 19th century. By the early 1900s, the bugle hartebeest had vanished from the wild, with the last known herd decimated near Outat El Hajj, Morocco, in 1917. The final individual was reportedly killed in Missour, Morocco, in 1925. Despite its extinction, conservationists continue to work diligently to protect other hartebeest species, ensuring they do not share the same fate. Number 7. Maui parrotbill. Declared extinct in the wild in 2023. Once found only in the dense forests of Maui, the Maui parrotbill, also known as the kawikyu, was one of Hawaii's rarest birds. Habitat destruction, disease-carrying mosquitoes, and invasive predators devastated its population. Conservationists attempted a reintroduction effort in 2019, but the bird struggled to survive in the wild. By 2023, experts declared the species extinct in the wild. However, a small number remain in captivity, and scientists continue working on ways to reintroduce them to a safer environment. 8. Guam kingfisher. Declared extinct in the wild in 1986 due to the introduction of predators. Endemic to the Pacific island of Guam, the Guam kingfisher boasted vibrant plumage and was a vital part of the island's ecosystem. However, the accidental introduction of the brown tree snake after World War II led to a catastrophic decline in native bird populations. By 1986, the Guam kingfisher was declared extinct in the wild. Fortunately, a small number had been captured for breeding programs, and today, around 100 individuals exist in captivity. Conservationists are striving to reintroduce this striking bird to its natural habitat, free from invasive predators. 9. Hawaiian crow. Declared extinct in the wild in 2002. Known locally as the alala, the Hawaiian crow was once native to the forests of Hawaii's Big Island. Habitat loss, disease, and predation led to a severe population decline, and by 2002, the species was declared extinct in the wild. However, dedicated conservation efforts have maintained a small population in captivity. In December 2024, 5 alala were released into the forests of Maui in a bid to re-establish wild populations. This initiative represents a significant step in preserving Hawaii's unique avian heritage. 10. Tekopa pupfish. Declared extinct in the wild in 1970 and fully extinct in 1981. The Tekopa pupfish was a tiny but resilient fish that thrived in the warm springs of California's Mojave Desert. For thousands of years, it adapted to extreme conditions, but in the 1960s, its habitat was altered by human development. Water diversion and the construction of bathhouses drastically changed the thermal springs it relied on. By 1970, the Tekopa pupfish was declared extinct in the wild, and by 1981, it was officially considered fully extinct. Unlike some other species on this list, no individuals were preserved in captivity, making this an irreversible loss to North America's freshwater ecosystems. These 10 animals may no longer roam freely in the wild, but their stories are not yet over. Conservation efforts continue, proving that extinction is not always the final chapter. Protecting wildlife and their habitats is a responsibility we all share, for if we don't act now, who knows which species will be lost next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to raise awareness about the importance of conservation. I'll see you in the next video.